What's up? How you doing? Sorry, I'm let me know if you can hear me, Jigga. I haven't really played around with this platform much, really not at all. Okay, good. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Feeling good. I wasn't sure if it was streaming to my YouTube or not, so I was a little confused on that, but it looks like it is, so that's good. That's good to know. Uh, all right, so basically I decided to kind of try something a little different with my channel. Um, at least, one day out of the week. And what I'm going to do or planning to do is kind of scout the markets for swing trade opportunities. So on the stock side and the crypto side. So if you have tickers that you want me to check out, I'm happy to do that. Um, and then also if there are any crypto joints you want me to check out, I'm happy to do that as well. So I'm not really, at least today, I'm not coming into it like with planned tickers and companies or whatever to look at. So I'm kind of just going to be shooting from the hip. So yeah, but maybe in the future lives, I'll kind of have a better idea of what I want to look at. But again, just looking for some opportunities, seeing what I see out there, maybe setting some alerts and, just waiting for the plays to manifest. But yeah, my weekend's pretty good. Been a little busy, still trying to get settled in the new house and stuff. So um, just chilling, just chilling. Actually a little sleepy, surprisingly. It's early. Like I'm a night owl, so I'm surprised that I'm kind of sleepy this early, but nevertheless, I'm here, so I'm planning to do this, every Saturday night, 9 to 10, somewhere in there. So I'm glad you're here with me. Um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to see comments and things like that when I'm switching switching screens or whatnot, but I'll try to remember to check as I go along. Let me see if I can do. No, looks like I can't, but whatever. We'll make it do what it do. But yeah, so I'm gonna just go ahead and pick a ticker at random, and just see if I see any opportunities with that ticker. Trying to think of something that I know I haven't marked up, at least not recently, just so I can kind of start from scratch. Let's see. Um, let's do Corvo. I think I've marked that one up, but long time ago, I think. All right. Maybe I need to log in or log out and log back into my Thinkorswim. Let me try that. How's your weekend going, though? Pretty good, I hope. All right. So let's go to Thinkorswim. Okay. All right. So Thinkorswim is on some other other stuff right now. All right, so let me go share my screen. And there we go. All right, look like Thinkorswim is undergoing some maintenance or something right now. So let me just, I'm going to start off on the crypto side. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm going to start off with the crypto side. Share. We're going to do. There we go. All right, so of course, all of these coins I've marked up. I've marked up a bunch of coins when it comes to crypto. Trying to think. Let's see. It's been a while since I looked at Shiba, so let me check that one out. Shiba. All right. Let me actually take all my studies off for now. Okay, so start with the monthly chart. You can see. I mean, I marked Shiba up a while ago. All right, so based on my old analysis, Shiba has come right back down inside of a breakout retest zone that I identified quite some time ago. So, and notice that so far, that level is holding here on Shiba's monthly chart. So I'm going to draw an area of interest that I'd like to see as far as Shiba is concerned. Like to see it get above this trend line here on the monthly chart. So far, like I said, it's holding that that demand zone. So I'll just be watching to see if it gets above that area, moving forward. And at that point, we may have some sentiment changing on this specific coin. Of course, I mean it could it could fall some more, but as long as it holds this level, then it's got a chance for um, a move in a bullish direction. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Okay, so weekly chart looking like it's about ready to bust a move, but for me, honestly, I'd like to see. I probably set an alert for 23.52. Oh, it can get that in no time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna set an alert for Shiba around 23. Well, I'll say 24. Just as a reminder, like once that level triggers, or once that alert triggers, then I know to go and look back at the chart. Shiba had a good run here. And I traded it quite a bit on this move here, but didn't really mess with it on this move downward here, even though I knew that once it failed here, it was likely going to make its way back down here. And it's just not one that I follow regularly, like I do some of these other ones you see listed here at the top of the screen. Let's see. Let's take a look at the daily chart, see if I see any. Oh. I don't know. I think Shiba is okay for sure. Let's see. 23.38, I would say, and I'm gonna put that in the chat. All right, I'll check out POWR. That's crypto, or is that stock? I'm gonna assume it's crypto, I guess. Okay, let's take a look at the monthly chart. I've never heard of this one before. Let's see. Okay, so we got a little trend that's been developing over the past couple of months. Um, for this month, I'd be watching to see if it closes over 60 cents. Um, it's right inside of a supply zone here where it is now. So definitely important to see what it does up here. Pretty much really above this 54 or mid 50s area. So I'm gonna just draw a trend line here for the monthly chart. And I'll just be looking to see if this trend line holds in the coming months. Let's see how the weekly is looking. All right, so with the weekly, we got a little development here. Okay, so a move above this. So I would say a close above about 63 to 65 cents. The price will likely go up to about 76 cents, maybe even higher. But if the price comes down to that mid 50s and closes below that, then it could likely move down to down below 50s and maybe toward low 40s or something like that. Mid to low 40s, I would say. So those are a couple of areas of interest that I would be paying attention to on this particular um, ticker or whatever. So and because I like to try to eliminate bias as much as possible when it comes to trading. Um, the heck, I like to uh, I like to do a bullish and a bearish case, so that I'm prepared either way. So a move above this area, so a breakout, I'd be looking for this area here. And then a breakdown, I'd be looking for this area here, and I'm actually move this a little lower. So yeah, um, and for now, really all you got to do is just set some alerts. I would definitely set an alert for probably about 64, 65 cents. And then I'd also set an alert for uh, about mid to low 50 cents area. And really what I typically do when it comes to my alerts, and if it will allow like a note section, I go into the notes and write, this is why I set this alert. This is what I'm looking for if this happens. So sometimes, like, I'll put in an alert that's above the current price of the ticker, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bullish alert because it could be alerting me that, hey, this one has hit a supply zone. Maybe you should go check out the chart and see what are the chances that this is, or does it look like, based on the price action, does it look like it's going to break out finally, or does it look like it's going to sell off and you need to be looking to short it at this area? So, just a little tidbit on how I do my alerts typically. And I try to make that distinction whether, hey, this is a bullish alert where I'm looking to get in if it gets here, or this is an alert just serving to remind me to, hey, go check the chart to see what's going on right here. So yeah, that's the weekly chart for POWR. I'm gonna just take a look at the daily chart and see how that's shaping up. And the momentum looks pretty good on this daily chart. It's looking like, or the price is currently sitting above that upper trend line that we saw on the weekly chart here on the daily. But we don't know how it's going to shape up over the rest of the day. So remember, the crypto day just started almost 2.5 hours ago. So just something to watch out for. A pretty decent entry would have been down here in that mid 50s area, but what's done is done. But definitely watch it. Where it's currently sitting. As like I said before, it could be headed for that mid 70s area potentially. So uh, I don't think, no, this one isn't available on KuCoin, so I wouldn't be able to trade it. And I do have a Coinbase account, but I don't really use it. So, but yeah, hopefully that was helpful for you. Like I said, set some alerts and just don't even worry about it until those alerts go off. Once those alerts go off, you go back and check the charts and see what's going on, and then make a decision from there. Um, let's see if I can think of something that's on KuCoin. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to copy. I'm gonna put that in the chat. There we go. Just so you can have it, and I'll probably whatever I mark up, I'll probably post in the description box as well. So okay, so that's one. That was actually a great recommendation. I appreciate you because it's definitely at a critical area where something's about to pop off soon for that one, in my opinion. Over the next several days or so, I would say. Um, I'm gonna check out Luna, although I was just marking up Luna last night and set an alert and didn't take the trade, but Luna owes me money. Like, no lie, it definitely owes me money. Let's go back to the weekly chart. All right, so Luna, just like we saw on POWR or Shiba, really, Luna it's testing a key area on the weekly chart, also bouncing from a demand zone, and I'm going to extend this out too. So for Luna, for me personally, I'm probably, well, I won't say I'm gonna probably leave it alone, because I mean, even still trading on margin, that's you can make a pretty decent amount of money on a $2 to $3 move on this one. So for this one, I'd have to scale down to a lower time frame, but definitely paying attention to the fact that there may be some short-term change in sentiment as far as this bearishness over the past several weeks for this one. So um, I was actually supposed to get in this one on a pullback uh, earlier today, but I haven't really been. I've been busy doing other stuff today. But I'm gonna go down to the daily chart and see how the daily chart is looking. And you kind of see how it's starting to cross a critical area on the as far as momentum is concerned, and also just kind of chilling out right here at resistance. So really, I'm just watching for a like a confirmed breakout of this area, and I'm actually gonna set an alert for 58, man. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna set the alert for 58. I'm not even gonna try to um I'm not gonna try to jump the gun on it because this anything can happen really. So with this one, I'm really only looking for a few dollar moves. So once it gets to 58, I think it has a good chance of going to like low 60s. So my exit would be somewhere around 61 to $62 if I get in at 58 for this one. Matter of fact, let me go in. So I have this. I added this bot in my Discord where I can enter, where I can set my alerts, and it'll remind me uh, when my alerts trigger. It'll send me a notification. So I'm doing that on my phone right now. Luna, USDT, and we said 58. All right, so that's my alert that just let me know that it's set successfully. So I'm just looking for a nice little close above this orange trend line, entering for a move up toward $61, $62 range. And this is the daily chart. So I have to go into this knowing that this could take, a few days to develop. So definitely give myself some time as far as the loan is concerned. But what's happening on this 4 hour chart um, is that it's kind of range bound right now. So it broke out from a previous range, and it's now just kind of consolidating along this trend line. So right now, I feel like it's not necessarily the ideal time to try to jump in this one. But on this time frame, once it hits 58, I think we're pretty much golden to jump in. And of course, um, if it can't beat this area, then I think that it has a pretty good chance of coming back down toward low 50s and maybe even below 50. So um, I'm just going to extend my old zones out. Where's this one? This is yeah. All right. Okay. So yeah, got my bullish alert set on Luna, and really, even with that bullish alert, um, I'm not necessarily going to jump the gun right away and go long. I'm going to come back to the chart, check the chart, and it may be signaling for me to enter a short position. So definitely paying attention to that as well. So I'm not. Well, yes, I should. I should set a bearish alert just in case it doesn't even get to 58. So I think I'm gonna set a bearish alert for about 55.50. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So got that done. Um, oh yeah, I need to look at. I'm a checkout link for sure because I need to look at link. It's been a while since I've looked at that one. So all right, so got that alert set for Luna. Now I don't even have to come back to the chart until my alert triggers. Um, Definitely about being patient and waiting for that setup to come to you. And if it doesn't, after some time, give it a little time, come back and look at the chart and reevaluate. So let's look at Luna. All right, so Luna, damn, not Luna, but Link. My bad, Link. All right, so start with the monthly chart because I definitely haven't looked at this one in quite some time. Okay. Okay, so we had a symmetrical triangle breakdown on link, and it's looking like it's we got a series of higher lows here, so maybe sentiment is changing, maybe. Hold on one second. Okay, so maybe sentiment is changing, but it's in my opinion, it's best to wait for that confirmation. But we do see here on this monthly chart where the candle is kind of hanging out right near that this trend line here. So let's see. Also holding pretty strong at support. I would set an alert for, I would say, about mid $17 range, just just in case. But let's look at the weekly chart. All right, so weekly chart looks like it's low key in a channel, but it looks like it's bouncing, and so far this week's candle is trading above the close of last week's candle. So I'd pay attention to that as well. But really, when it comes to the weekly chart, my resistance is pretty much right here. I like to do blue for my weeklies. Get rid of that. Clean my chart up just a little bit. All right, so really, if this trend line holds on link, then it may head to this blue trend line, which could put it over $20, depending on what it does. It could consolidate, in this range here, but it could also move up toward here. And we see historically over the past several weeks, when it hits this trend line, it bounces up toward the blue trend line. Then it comes back down here and it bounces and tests that blue area again. So there's nothing saying to me at this time that I shouldn't think that pattern could possibly repeat itself. So yeah, for Link, I keep wanting to say Luna. For Link, I definitely would be looking to see if it. I probably set an alert somewhere for maybe high 18s, 19, somewhere in there. And then maybe consider an entry at that point. But let's check out the daily chart first to see if the daily chart is giving any kind of indication of a move, or of a pretty good entry. I mean, daily chart is looking pretty decent in my opinion. I would say, again, let me move this out the way. Yeah, I would set an alert for about 18.5. And once it hits 18.5, come back and look at the chart. If it's still looking pretty bullish, then I would be considering an entry at 18.5 and riding it, up over 20. And maybe even up toward this area. So, but keep in mind that this is a supply zone as well. So it could hit this area and not even go up to the blue trend line. But even on the daily time frame, oh, wrong button. even on the daily time frame, you can see where it likes to test the area and it falls. But yeah, so looks like at 18.5 you got potential for a move to $20-$21 at least. So I'm actually going to set an alert in my Discord. Let's see, I said 18.5. Yeah. Okay, so 18.5, my alert is set. I don't even have to think about it anymore. And I just know based on my due diligence that at this point I'm considering a long entry toward $21. Matter of fact, let me I'm gonna put a note on the chart. Okay, so there we go. All right, so that's the daily chart, and I'm gonna just check the 4-hour chart just to see, just in case. And you see it's kind of ranging on the 4-hour chart. So again, we would be looking for a break of that range. So all set on that one. Link to the chart image. Put that. So for me, it really depends on what I'm seeing and how I'm feeling. Right now, I'm really trying to get back into swinging, but with crypto, it's kind of different because it's weird because of the times are different. Um, it even though like a day trade in crypto can feel like a swing trade because the market is open for 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? But with crypto, I typically swing a lot. The only time, well, I would say with my crypto trades, I usually go in with the intent to swing. But if I hit my target before the day is over, then I'm out, and it's just a day trade by happenstance, you know. But I find myself swinging more than day trading for sure. Um, so when it comes to swing trading, generally, I'm not going lower than the 4-hour chart. Sometimes I'll go down to the 1-hour chart. That's pretty much when I'm looking for an entry. Like, okay, I've confirmed that I need to be making a move very soon on this position. So let me check the 1-hour chart and see if this thing is going to maybe pull back where I can get a better entry, or if this thing is saying go go go. But generally, I don't go lower than the hourly charts when it comes to swing trading. Um, I can't lie. Sometimes I will swing trade off like a 15-minute chart, 30-minute chart, something like that. But my time horizon is usually shorter. So hopefully that makes sense. Um, so when it comes to day trading, I'm usually looking at, a 15-minute chart, 30-minute chart, and of course, hourly charts. Me personally, I don't go lower than a 5-minute chart because I can't emotionally and mentally, it's just not good for me going lower than that because it's just way too volatile for me on those lower time frames. Um, Although I do like to trade volatile tickers, but with the price action, it's just happening too fast for my comfort. Um, but yeah, so when I'm looking at if I'm looking at a day trade and it's like a stock, for example, keeping in mind that my time horizon is what, 6 hours. The market is open like 6, 7 hours. So with those, I'm generally looking at the daily chart and below. And usually I'm looking at the daily chart just to get a sense of what's the trend. You know what I'm saying? And the hourly charts are giving me my trend as well. So like for example, let's say yesterday the market closed and there was a reversal candle, right? So coming into today, the next session, I'm looking for a potential confirmation candle. So that gives me my context, and so I know what I'm looking for on those lower time frames. So the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 30 minute, et cetera, et cetera. But I really do like to day trade off of those hourly charts too, because they give you more of, okay, what's the trend for the day? You know, it's going to take a while, but the con to day trading and you know maybe even scalping off of hourly charts is you're not going to see like reversals as quickly as you would see them on, you know, say a 30-minute or 15-minute or 5-minute chart even. So yeah, it just depends. But generally, if I'm looking at a 15-minute chart, I'm usually going into it with a swing, not a swing, a day trading mindset. But if I am swinging off the 15-minute chart, then I'm only looking to be in it for, you know, maybe overnight, at most maybe 2 3 days. When it comes to the hourly charts, and that's the 1 hour and the 4 hour, my time horizon is maybe up to 2 weeks, maybe. And then the daily chart, you know, for me, it goes up to 30 days plus. And of course, the time grows from there. So hopefully that answered your question. I was getting ready to post, yeah, the chart for link. There we go. I think we did another one, and I forgot to change the or post the link. Hold on a second. Was it Luna? I think I posted Luna. No, I did not. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna post Luna because yeah, I'm not gonna post that one. Okay, so you said okay, so we did link. Let me see, IDEX. I don't think I've looked at that one. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've never marked this one up before. Never ever. Okay. So for IDEX, already off the rip, and it's still early in February, but I would be looking to see if this 11 cents area can hold, and looking to see where the excuse me, where this monthly candle closes for the month of February. And if this 11 cents area holds, then I'd be looking to see if we get a confirmation candle for next month, which is March. And at which point we will be looking for a bullish candle in that case. Not saying that a bullish candle is going to happen, but in order to confirm that, hey, this thing is going to start moving upward, then we would need for next month's candle to be bullish, or at least close above the close of the previous month, which is February. So let me go ahead and draw out where resistance is currently, which is about right there. So definitely watch this one in relation to this blue trend line. And I actually like for my monthlies to be purple. Let me change that color. All right. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. You can see it a lot better here on the weekly chart. Pretty much you can see where above this trend line it sells off. You know what I'm saying? So, but we got so far this week, we got a pretty decent bullish candle. But I would probably watch for probably set an alert for 2080 for this one. For this week, yeah, 2080. And of course, that doesn't necessarily mean um, to be expecting a bullish move. Again, come back to the chart and check it out and see what's going on. And maybe, maybe at that point, the chart is saying, hey, short this thing, So we got support down here again in this mid 11 cents range. So watch that as well. Daily chart. Okay, so daily chart, you see the price action is sitting just outside of this purple trend line. So what I watch for here is to see if this holds on the daily chart. If it does, there's a possibility that it could bounce and head up over 20 cents. So I'd say a pretty decent it may make for a pretty decent trade to consider that if this area holds. Again, it could be ranging, and I'm going to actually draw a box there to have that visual reminder that, this could possibly be a range. So yeah, watch that for sure. If this area holds, it could pop up to the top of that range. This momentum isn't looking the best, so it could also fall down, back below this area as well, at which point, I think it comes back down to this 12, 11 cent range if that happens. So um, yeah, there's a potential opportunity to, make money if it in fact is in this range, with buying it here and selling it here. Um, let's look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart is giving us a better visual of this thing just kind of consolidating on bearish momentum right now as well. So not really seeing anything that interests me at the moment on the 4-hour chart, at least. But so far, I would say just watch to see if this purple trend line holds, which represents the monthly trend currently. And seeing if if the lower area of this range holds, which happens to kind of coincide with that purple trend line. All right, so I'll put that here. What's that? IDEX. Okay. All right, let's see if my Thinkorswim still ain't acting right. Okay. All right, that's all right. I'll use TradingView for stocks too. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of glance over my some of my previous crypto markups. I really want Ethereum to kind of chill out and pull back a little bit so I can maybe consider an entry. Actually, I'm gonna extend this out because this is a lesser supply zone up here. But sentiment on, maybe the weekly chart is no, it's not. I would say short-term sentiment, maybe changing, but your long-term narrative, your long-term technical narrative is still intact in as far as Ethereum goes for now. But once it gets up above this low 33K area, it could, head back for high 3K, maybe even 4K. But that's just something I'd be watching for on Ethereum. And you can see historically where it bounces from here to the top of the range, sells off, kind of bounces around a little bit, then heads back to the top of that range. It tends to hold pretty strongly at 3K. Bounces up here. This is kind of an outlier, so bounces toward the top of that range again and sells back off. So what I'm really watching for is if it can beat this 3K. If not, then I would probably be shorting Ethereum back down toward the lower 2000s, or I would say mid to low 2K. And if it does beat that, then I'd be considering a long position up toward, maybe mid to high 3K area. And of course, this is a weekly chart, so I have to keep that in mind as I consider a position about, as far as my time horizon. Let's see. On the daily chart, pretty much what we have going on Ethereum right now, and I'm sorry my chart is kind of messy. Actually, I'm going to take this curve off because it's kind of broken that. All right, so cleaned it up just a little bit, but it's kind of ranging. It's in like an ascending channel right now, a small one at that. So I'd be kind of watching to see if it can break out of this upper trend line here. And if not, then maybe it comes back down toward this lower trend line. But even with that, it still has this greater trend on the weekly chart here that could hold as a as support. So just watching this area for now until the price action shows me otherwise. And you can see where over the past couple of days it's been struggling at this upper trend line. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And I think I already have some alerts set on Ethereum, so I don't need to reset them. I can, yeah, I'll check and see in a little while. But yeah, so if I would say watch about the 3100 area, see if Ethereum can beat that. And I'd probably set an alert a little closer as far as the downside is concerned, and I put that alert somewhere about between about 2900 to 3K, just to kind of remind me to come back and look at the chart to see what's happening. That's pretty much it on Ethereum. Like I said, Ethereum is one that I tend to watch on a near daily basis, so don't necessarily need to spend much time there. MATIC is ranging as well, as you can see, and looks like it's starting to break out of a channel here on the 4-hour chart. So I'm going to look at this daily chart and see how this daily chart is looking. Oh man, that would have been a dope entry down here in the 150s. And I missed that. But anyways, it is what it is. Let's see. So I would say if MATIC is able to get above, it's been, I want to say it's been hanging out for quite a while. I've been kind of glancing at it all day, and it seems like it's been sitting at this 175 area. or in the 170s. But I would say if it could beat this 175s area, then it's definitely going over 180 and maybe up over 190. So that would be in a couple of different areas of interest that I would look at, and I'm going to set an alert right now on MATIC. I'm gonna just set it for, even though it's pretty close, I'm gonna set an alert for 176. All right. So 176 on the daily, we looking pretty bullish. Look at the 4-hour, we're looking pretty bullish. So it's being supported right now by the 10-period moving average so far. Momentum looks pretty decent. Yeah, that's a pretty solid number, even on the 4-hour chart. So let me glance at the weekly chart. Yeah, okay. So even still, these pops, you want to be selling these pops, because on the high, excuse me, on the higher time frames, momentum is not bullish. So if you're in a long position with crypto, as far as trades are concerned, it doesn't matter if it's a long-term hold or anything like that. But if it's a trade, you definitely want to be looking to sell the pops, because momentum is not in our favor on the because momentum is kind of to the downside right now. So, or sentiment. So right now, we look like, if we excuse me, if we were to get in if we were to go long on a trade for MATIC, the weekly, this current week would be kind of in our favor right now. So um, I definitely like the chances, if it's able to get to that 176, 177 area. I like the chances of it getting over 180 and even up to 190s, somewhere in there. So that's a pretty decent trade for me. So um, I'm gonna just go back down to the 4-hour, make this a little smaller. Let me zoom in a little more, or zoom out. Okay, so I'm gonna extend this out. All right, so that's pretty much, once I get an alert for here, then I probably would go long and be looking for an exit up here at this blue line, which is around 190, 192, somewhere in there. Okay, all right. Okay, I think I'm gonna make that my last crypto one. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get to your question in just a second, Jigga. Hold on. What's this? MATIC. Okay, so let me read your question. Okay, so with a small account, I would. It's best to treat it like it's a large account, And what I mean by that is you use the same risk tolerance. So generally, your cheaper, your lower priced tickers are gonna have cheaper options. Generally speaking, of course. But uh, it's gonna be more difficult but we'll try to find some for a account that size. I wish Thinkorswim was cooperating, but it's literally giving me the wheels of death. Okay, maybe we can use it for just looking at contracts at least. So yeah, let me look at what's it for? Let me see. Let's look at TLRY. All right, so TLRY. Let's do the same thing that we did with crypto. I'm gonna start with the monthly chart and see what that overall trend is looking like for TLRY. Let's see. That momentum is pretty weak, although it's bullish currently. All right. Okay, so here we go. As far as the monthly chart is concerned, but it looks like we also have a range, possibly. I'm actually going to change this color to gray. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got potential range here. So this is our area of interest currently. I would set an alert on TLRY. I would say right now it's at 595. I would say probably 525 maybe. Um, and that way we have a bit of cushion baked in to where we are not necessarily waiting to see if it gets all the way to the bottom of the range. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say let's set an alert for $5 because I mean it's close to $6 right now, and a $1 move on a $6 stock, that's pretty significant. So we want to give it a little more cushion, just in case it bounces well before $5, or yeah, well before $5. So right now it's trading right at resistance, but it's also at an area where it historically bounces. So definitely would watch how that shapes up on the monthly chart. It's still early, so it's too early in the month to say for real. So really, you would want to keep an eye on the lower time frames, being the weekly, the daily, and things like that. Um, and we'll see if we see any. Uh, we'll look at the option chain to see, if there's some reasonably priced contracts. Because what I'm really trying to do is find cheap contracts, but contracts that I can go out 30 days and still remain within my risk tolerance for this particular challenge. So, um, yeah, let's see. I don't. I would hit Corey up, Corey Camp. As far as FinViz is concerned, I know he uses that a ton. It's not a platform. I'm familiar with the platform, but I don't feel well versed enough to really be able to guide you on how to use it. So um, definitely hit Corey up with FinViz because he's the one that introduced me to that platform. Okay. Well, MATIC is a good project, so I think you'll be okay with holding MATIC. So, especially with all the stuff that Polygon has going on. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, so far, or at least this past week, was bullish for TLRY. So what we need to be looking for this coming week is a confirmation candle. So we need to be looking to see if TLRY is able to hold above this 595 area and move over that for next week. So there might be some opportunity there. We'll take a look at the daily chart in just a second, but let's just see where we're looking at. Okay, so we got a little room from 595 up until this purple trend line. So um, probably about half a dollar, a little over half a dollar move that we could potentially take advantage of here. But when it comes to the markets, you already know you got to be ready for whatever. But we already got a reversal candle there, support, and last week was bullish. So we just need to look and see if that bullishness continues. Let's see, daily chart. Daily chart is just kind of chilling. That momentum is trying to work its way upward. So yeah, I kind of do like TLRY, at least to watch it this coming week for potential trade. Again, I would watch to see. I would watch to see if TLRY can get to probably, I would say about 610. Just set an alert for like 610. If that alert triggers, check the chart, look at the daily chart, and see how that daily chart is looking. Because we don't want to jump the gun, because when TLRY drops, like, it really, really tends to zap some premium. So we don't want to be in that kind of a situation. But let's take a look at I'm gonna bring up TLRY's option chain in just a second. Share. Like, why I can't just, maybe I'm gonna just share my entire screen. That way I don't have to keep flipping windows. It's just gonna look weird for a second. All right, so TLRY. All right, so again, like I said, I like to, for this particular challenge, I like to go out as much as I possibly can. I would like to go out at least 4 weeks, just to give it some time to do what it's gonna do. And again, I let the charts dictate to me what strikes I should be considering. So I'm not gonna go into a trade letting my available cash amount tell me what strikes to choose. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, let's say I have $500 to risk on any one trade, and I look at it, and maybe the ticker that I'm considering, the chart is telling me, hey, the price is going for $100 right now. Target, your target should be about maybe 110 is your potential move. So for me, I'd be looking for strikes no more than maybe 10 points out of the money. But let's say I go look at the option chain, and those strikes are like way out of my, they're more expensive than 500. So I'm not gonna be like, oh well, since I can't afford this one, I'm gonna just go way out of the money and get these contracts. It may not be the best move. So like I said, I let the charts dictate to me what strikes I should be considering. And in the case of TLRY, we're seeing we're short term, we're looking at a move to about 650. I really wouldn't go beyond 7 as far as the strike is concerned. And I honestly feel like even 750 would be a bit of a stretch for TLRY. 30 days out, you would think, no way, 30 days. But yeah, that's really how You know, that's really how I would consider it. So looking at that, the $6 strike is 60 cents. And then the $7 strike is 32 cents. So that's, if I were you, Jigga, that's how I would look at it. So with a $250 to $500 account, I would not trade. Um, I wouldn't trade contracts more than 100, and really I would go below 100. I would say no more than like 60, $70. So I don't know if, well, you probably, I think you did catch my last video. Just think about, divide, your capital, your total capital by a certain amount, and that'll tell you this is the number of trades that I can take if I risk this amount of money. So let's say 500, and you're looking at, you're like, oh, I'm only going to risk $50 per trade. That's 10 trades. So really with a $500 account, I'm really with a $500 account, I wouldn't be risking more than $50 per trade, honestly. And even better if you can get a lower price contract. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a good point, David. That you're looking right at the money or in the money, and that's typically where I like to be, is right at the money, because typically gamma is higher right at the money. So I know that if I get some volatility coming in my favor, then that delta is going to move faster, and it just has more of that, those factors moving in my favor. Excuse me, moving in my favor and increasing that price, the price of that contract. Um, so yeah, that's definitely a good point. So yeah, TLRY, I would just watch it. I would set an alert for about 6:10. I really don't. I'm not gonna say that TLRY can't move to 7 over the next 30 days or so, because it could very well happen. But I'm saying, based on recent historicals as far as the chart is concerned, I wouldn't. My target would probably be around like 650, 660, somewhere in there. But yeah, next week looking for a confirmation candle, um, and then probably going like 3 to 4 weeks out as far as the strike is concerned. Um, and going no further out than $7 as far as that strike is concerned as well. But yeah, Jigga, generally the cheaper the stock, the cheaper the contracts will be generally. Um, but yeah, if you do like a scan, you can set up like a custom scan in whatever platform that you use, and you can tell that scan to find contracts for a certain price. Matter of fact, I can do one right now in Thinkorswim Option Hacker, and let's say I want to look for, let me say, a maximum of, we'll say 50 cents. Take this off, and we'll do the ask. And that's going to bring up a ton of stuff, a ton of different options, options. So you may want to enter some other kind of filter to narrow that down. For me, I would probably throw a stock filter on there and say, maybe I'm looking for something with a maximum share price of, let's say, $30 or something. And so then it's gonna bring. It looks like it only brought up one stock, and that was Riot. And so you just kind of have to play around with the filters like that. But since this is bringing up RIOT based on these kind of arbitrary numbers that I threw in, I'm just gonna look at RIOT. I haven't looked at RIOT in a minute, so okay. So far for the month of February, there's been some indecision on RIOT. And you got to keep in mind whatever Bitcoin is doing, RIOT is doing the same. And so RIOT is ranging just like Bitcoin. But the thing about ranging is you can play the range. You don't have to necessarily sit on your hands. But especially when you're thinking about a swing trade. But a day trade, when you're seeing something ranging, if you're not scalping on a low time frame, that's when I really sit on my hands. So yeah, let's see. Monthly chart's not really interesting me right now. Weekly. Okay, so weekly chart, definitely looking a little interesting, but we know what Bitcoin has been doing over the past couple of days. It's gotten back over 41. Been holding 40 for several hours at this point, maybe a couple of days, a day or two, something like that. But if this continues, then we can expect that RIOT will be bullish, or at least open bullish Monday. But yeah, so the weekly chart, is showing that maybe sentiment may be changing just a bit, but we don't have any sort of confirmation right now. So for Monday, I would be looking to see if RIOT opens over 17 and is able to hold that for the week, especially. But as far as and that's just making sure that hey, I'm on the right side of the trend at this time. You know what I'm saying? So not necessarily saying hey, we're entering this trade based off the weekly, but the weekly is just giving us the picture of hey, am I on the right side of the trend right now? But making my entry likely off of the daily chart or the 4-hour chart. So you can see on the daily chart where it's been kind of ranging between about 16.5 and low $13 range. So I'm just gonna draw a little box there. Just so I have that visual reminder when I come back to my RIOT chart. And a break of this zone puts RIOT probably close to $20. So I mean, really, you could just wait for that trade to develop, because it will at some point. You could just say, hey, when we get a confirmed break of this 16 and a half dollar area, then I'm gonna consider an entry for a move with a target of about $19 to $20 range. And we'll go over to the option chain for RIOT. And again, like I said, I'm on this 30-day plus type tip. And you can see where the strikes are. So I already said, hey, the target would be about 19 to 20. So I really wouldn't go beyond that $20 strike, just to be on the safer side. Even better if you can get closer to the money or even in the money for that trade. So looking at the March 4 to March 11 expirations. But as you can see, that March 4 has more, it's got heavier volume and open interest on it. So that would be the one that would be my most likely chosen expiration for this one. And of course, if it fails, because I always like to have a contingency plan. If it fails at this $16, $17 area, because there is like a small gap here at about 17.40, then the price could likely move back down below 16, and maybe even back down toward 14 to $13 maybe. And for that contingency plan, I will be looking at the same strike. So I mean, same expiration, March 4, and same situation where I probably wouldn't go beyond $14 strike really. Better if you can go closer to the money, to be honest with you. Um, tough. It probably be a tough trade either way because it moves with Bitcoin. So that's just illustrating what I mean by I let the chart tell me, at least the limits of where I can safely go when it comes to choosing a strike. Because I know a lot of people make the mistake of saying, well, hey, I can only afford this amount of money, so I'm going to choose this strike, and then they end up losing it all, and that was it's a waste. So hopefully that made sense to you. Dontre, you couldn't see my Thinkorswim screen. Jigga, can you see it? Yes, Jigga. Actually, filtering using volume is a very good filter to throw on, because what you don't want to do is find cheap contracts that have no volume, or cheap stocks that have no volume. It's kind of pointless, because you want to be able to sell when you get in. So you want something that's decently liquid. You don't want to get stuck with nothing. So um, for sure, and when I was trading stocks, um, that volume piece was a very important piece. So I jacked the volume way up when it comes to that cheap stock, because and that's one thing that gets people caught up when they're trading penny stocks, is they don't think about the volume of money. So like 10 million may seem like, oh, that's some crazy volume, but if the stock is only trading for a penny, that's nothing. That's no volume. That's not very liquid at all. So definitely jack that volume up. Yeah, I don't have my Thinkorswim screen up right now because I wanted to come back and see what questions you guys were asking. Um, so yeah, definitely add a volume filter for that stock and that option, because you want to make sure that even if you're trading those cheaper contracts, that they're liquid. Um, right, David, and I've definitely gotten baited into cheap contracts, and cheap stocks really, that I was not able to get out of because nobody wanted it. So yeah, so okay. Um, so that's Riot. We got a plan for that. So upside alert for about 16.70, $17. Um, However, remember there's a gap between about 16.60 and 17.40. So watch to see what happens with the price if it moves up into that area, because it could sell off. So if it fails at that area, then you're at that point I'd be considering puts, maybe down to about 16, with a one target at about $16. And if it fails at 16, I think it has a pretty good chance of going down below 15. Um, and remembering that we wouldn't be going too far out of the money as far as the strike is concerned. Same thing on the top side. If we get some good movement above that $17 area, then we're looking for a move toward 19 to 20, and doing the same thing as far as choosing your strikes. Like I said, wouldn't go beyond a $20 strike 30 days out for that one. So that's about $3 out of the money for that one. What else? Any other tickers? Because if I throw tickers out there, it's going to be tickers that I look at on a regular basis. Let's see. I'll say I'll give it time for maybe one or two more to check out. Matter of fact, I need to write that down as a note just to have it. Bitcoin. I have to put that note to keep an eye on Bitcoin because it's a shame. I should be ashamed to admit how often I don't think of Riot when I'm thinking about Bitcoin. So, fail here. Okay. All right. So got that. Okay. Spot bearish based on their fundamentals. I mean, it's funny how Spot has been kind of on my radar lately. And really, that happened when I saw that India Irie video, David, recently, where she was talking about Joe Rogan's use of the N word and just taking her music off. Now, I don't know if that's going to spark anything. And I haven't really looked at Spotify's like the distribution of or the breakdown of their revenue. I would guess that most of their revenue comes in from music streams from subscribers or subscriptions. I mean, but yeah, and how big of an impact the music has versus the podcasts have. 'Cause, I mean, he got big time money from Spotify. That deal with Spotify is just big time money. Right now, Spotify is sitting in a demand zone, a small demand zone, long term. Um, looks like really, I mean, you could short, so far, you could short it on a monthly basis right at this trend line. Let's see. Let's look at the weekly chart though. Okay, we got a little indecision over the last week at least. But so far, it looks like this low 170s area is holding. So I would definitely keep an eye on that area right there. Yeah, I would say, let me do. About right in here. Little demand zone there. So I would watch to see if this area breaks down here on Spotify, David. And if you anything like me, I like to catch bears positions on pops. Kind of the same thing with things in a downtrend. You buying when other people are selling, but not the whole trying to catch a falling knife type thing. But if that thing can pop up here and you can catch it going short that way, that would be hella dope. But right now on the weekly chart, I mean, you trying to go out past next earnings, which I don't know when that is, but that gives it plenty of time. But looks like it's kind of starting to level out just a little bit on this weekly chart. So I would definitely pay attention to this area between about 175 to 155 ish, somewhere in there. Because if that area breaks down, then this thing is probably going to go 120 or lower, probably, if that happens. Let's see what this daily chart looking like. Okay, so next earnings is May. Okay. I mean, it's definitely going to make a move before earnings, whether that be a move where sentiment changes to the upside or whether this area breaks down. Either way, that's going to happen before earnings. It's just a matter of calling it right. You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely, especially these longer term charts, it's bearish. Sentiment is bearish. Daily chart, sentiment is mainly bearish right now. Weekly chart, same thing. So for me, if I was looking for a position for sure, I'd be trying to probably catch it on a pop. But looks like it was pretty, yeah, it was pretty bullish on Friday. So looks like it may be trying to fill this gap here. And the top side of that gap looks like it's up, damn, 205, 188 at least. So it may be trying to make a move up to 188. So I'd be looking to see what it does or if it's able to get up into this gap area. I'm gonna just draw a little box there. So that's a little, what, 14-point move? If so, change the color because it's not, I don't like that color. All right. So just a little gap right there on the daily chart that I would definitely pay attention to see if it can beat that. If it can't beat that, then you can definitely I know, David, you like to go out, multiple months as far as your expirations are concerned in general. But if you were looking for something, within about 3 months or so, if it fails at this gap, then we know that more than likely it's probably going to come back inside this 170s to 150s area. So definitely got some options there on Spotify. Yeah, yeah. Most of these big time, quote unquote, big time tech joints is way overpriced. So I definitely agree with you that it's a $100 stock. So, and the chart is definitely hinting at that possibility of it going below 120, especially if it fails at those couple of areas. I don't even. How did they do? How did they do this past earnings? Did they do well? Oh, you said they got it down. They got it down. So, yeah. Looking to dump that. You know, I have like a thing about Comcast. Like, they suck ass, but they are like really like one of the juggernauts in the internet space. And I think most of it, from my observations, one of the main reasons for that is because of what is the word? It slipped my mind. Um, where basically where you get exclusive rights in an area, like there can't be competition. So like I don't know if it's like that where you all live, but in a few areas where I've lived, it's been like you don't have a choice as far as your internet service provider. I lived at an apartment where it was Comcast is your only choice. I couldn't even go buy a hotspot from AT&T to run wireless internet in my house from a hotspot because I was in Comcast territory. So I'm not sure if it's like that, in areas where you guys have lived or worked or whatever. But that's what I've seen, and I think that could be a possibility for why Comcast is able to maintain some dominance in the space. Oh, still negative earnings for Spotify. Well, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I appreciate you for joining, Dave. Just trying out something new. Planning to do it about every Saturday or so. Saturday nights. Just looking at tickers and trying to find some swing play opportunities. So yeah, I appreciate you joining and engaging. Jig, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that got on and watched. I'll catch you guys next Saturday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, y'all.